Hello, this is Mark Mitchell, and today I'm just going to make a short recording to help get you familiar with where things are in the course, especially if you're taking an online section of sociology. And what I have done is just logged into one here in Blackboard. And again, today I just wanted to go through some of the tabs to help get you familiar with where things are. And then once you're familiar, I'm sure there'll be very few problems, and if you ever do have a problem, then please make sure you contact me, either come by on campus or email or call me so I can help you. But I have already logged into Blackboard, and here you can see the tabs. The Welcome tab is just really, again, something you'll probably use a few times, but just kind of a brief introduction to myself. And then there is a link here to a couple videos from Connect, and they basically just show you kind of how to use the Connect software from McGraw-Hill that we'll be using throughout the course. But once you click on that link, please complete these two assignments. They're very short, but they do count toward the final grade. The Announcements tab is where I think generally the course defaults to, so when you log in, you should see this screen actually first. And I'll just post announcements here. Maybe various things, usually around a weekly basis, or if you need more, then I'll do that. But just to let students know, some important information that's going on. The next tab, My Instructor, it just has my schedule for the spring, where I'll be on campus during the spring semester 2019. And then also, if you don't know me, I've got an older picture here of myself, actually from my driver's license, but I also have my contact information where you can find me at JCC. I'm in the Health Sciences building on the first floor, room number 156. My office hours this semester are 8 to 10:30 on Wednesday and Wednesday. If you need to come by and talk to me, I always love to talk with students, so please, if you need to, don't hesitate to come by, or of course email or call me. So my email address is lmmitchell@johnstoncc.edu. That's not a 1, it's an L. But just again, some contact information. And if you click on this document, it'll show you when I'm in class or when I'm in office hours or things of that nature. Our class syllabus is under the next tab, under Syllabus and Student Acknowledgement. And so once you click this link, it will show you a specific breakdown of lots of information for our class. So I really do encourage everyone to read the syllabus and make sure that you understand, and a lot of the policies that are described there, and the dates. There's many dates that are listed there in the syllabus for our various assignments. They're also here in Blackboard, but I know when you take an online class, there can be so many dates. It would be a good idea to print this out and then just be aware of when these due dates are. So again, I've got a schedule set up, and I'll try to mention some of that in this video today. The student acknowledgement form is something that I need everybody to either email me back or to send me some sort of acknowledgement that they have read and understand those policies and that they agreed to abide by them. So just emailing it back will be fine once you fill out this form with that information. There is some other information here, and as it says, just general policies, and I'm sure you're familiar with a lot of these, especially if you've taken classes at JCC before, but just every class has a lot of these things that are listed here. And of course, if you have any need for any of these services, then of course the college would be glad to provide these for you. Okay, our next tab, the assignments, is generally where you will be a majority of the time in the course. I think most of your time will be spent under this tab. So we do have different assignments, and one of those is we do have one paper, which is due March 3rd, 2019 by 11:59, so that'll be right before our spring break. And if you click on this folder, it'll give you the rubric. So I'm definitely expecting 1 through 5, and then number 6 is really optional. If you don't use outside sources, then it really won't apply to you. But there's a video that you have to watch, and then after watching the video, you'll complete 1 through 5. You'll type this up and then submit it online. Here are some papers that you can click on of different videos that I've used that students have submitted that was for this assignment, and they're just done really well. And you can see the different formats. It's either Microsoft Word or a rich text format. Something like that will be easier to read and for me to read and to open. The theoretical and research paper, you do not have to worry about those. Those are really not for our class, but I've just included them there. They're a little bit above what we want to do in the project. Now, as I mentioned, it was due March the 3rd, and if you come down to the folder in Chapter 8, this is actually where you will submit your paper. So you will come to the writing assignment, and then you will click on there, and then this is the link to use to upload your paper. So once you have it written, you can either paste it in here in this blank or browse my computer, find your file, and submit it that way. This assignment will be open the first day of class until the due date, and then it will disappear and you'll be unable to use that link. Here is the link to the video on YouTube. You do have an option. You can watch one called Second Skin, or you can watch one at the second link here, and that one's called Back from Madness. It's about people who have mental illnesses and their struggle and their treatment and their quest to recover. So either one you can watch. Don't watch both, but then just submit it at the same length. Even if you choose the other paper, still use this link to submit it. Okay, so now when we have quizzes and exams, and if you want to get an idea of what they kind of look like, this link here, you can look at that before we take them. The quizzes, for example, the dates are listed here, but they're generally open for several days, up to about a week, and then they close. And if you miss the date, then you just miss it. Having them open for that period of time is enough, and just, again, write all those dates down so that you don't miss it. The quizzes are shorter. They're generally about 30 to 35 questions, multiple choice. They're on 4 chapters each, and then you can see the date. So, for example, if you were going to take quiz 1, it would be available and ready for you to go for those dates. And then once the due date is passed, it closes. If there's a password, then make sure you look in the announcements section to where you can get that password and then open up your quiz. The quizzes will open and close before the exam. So I recommend after the due date that you look at your quiz and see what you got right and wrong. I will make that available to you, but it won't be ready until after the quiz closes for everyone. So when you take it yourself, if it's before the due date, then you won't be able to review it until the due date is actually over. And then you would take the exam. So after the quiz, again, there'll be a little bit of a few days difference. You can see, for example, quiz 1, it opens January 28th and closes February 4th. Exam 1 opens the 29th and then closes on February the 6th. So you would review your quiz starting on February 5th, and then you have until the end of February 6th to take your exam. Again, you can view that after the due date closes and see what you got right or wrong. The quizzes and the exams, again, were timed. The exams you have a little bit longer, so about 60 minutes to complete that, and the length of those is a little bit longer, so anywhere from 75 to 85 questions. Again, they all cover 4 chapters, and each quiz and exam, once we have covered that material, then we're actually done with it. So our final exam is just on 4 different chapters. It's not cumulative over the entire semester. Our book contains 16 chapters, and so what I have done is just to let you know, basically 1 is covered per week, and so I've included a due date to let you know where you should be. And then, for example, in chapter 1, you see all the assignments that you should be doing for that week. So when you're online, to be counted present, that means completion of your Learn Smart assignment, your chapter review assignment, and your discussion board. So if you do all 3 of those assignments, then you are counted present for the week. So now I do have some other resources. Here's an introduction to the chapter to let you know what we're covering, and then what you should know by the end of the chapter. If you like notes, you can use this link. If you like PowerPoint slides, they're here in this link. This is a section that I'm adding to, so additional websites. It's kind of like extra material. And again, when the textbook, the e-text, goes along with the reading assignments, and just a brief summary of what we will cover in Chapter 1. I've listed another link here, but it is my thoughts on the chapter, so there's a link to YouTube if you're interested in that. The only time we'll have the writing assignments is in Chapter 8, where your paper is due, that we have previously looked at. And then this is your Learn Smart link, so once you click here, it takes you to Connect Software and ask you to complete those 3 assignments that I was mentioning. So there's your Learn Smart. This is a short video clip, maybe just a few minutes long. That's also required. And then the chapter review is 10 questions, again, reviewing the chapter that we're on at the moment. The final link here is a link to the discussion board. So usually those are articles anywhere from 6 to 10 pages long. They usually relate to the chapter. Again, some of them you'll definitely, I think, like better than others, or at least that's what I've noticed in the past. And there'll be a link to the article. Some of these articles, if you find yourself having trouble, then you would maybe use the next link as a video to maybe help you get started if you need that. You may not need it, but it's an extra resource for you there. So everything here in Chapter 1, according to our syllabus, we would cover by January the 13th. And you can see the dates, and they proceed throughout the semester, but that's an easy way and efficient way to know, what's due and when. But that's kind of the repeatable pattern that we will see throughout the semester. We've already mentioned Chapter 8, but there's a link to the paper, and if you need some more description and detail there, you can try this link, and then if you need something else, please contact me. So that's again the tab that you'll probably use the most. You can use the discussion board tab to go straight to the discussion board forum, but using this, it doesn't have the article or the video. If you go through each chapters, you can get there, and it'll bring you to this forum here. The forum, for example, asks you to create a thread, your own post, make your own original post first before you can start seeing other students and their posts. If you want to respond to students, you can, but I'm not requiring you to do that. You do want to make sure in your post that it's at least 300 words. Sometimes it's longer, especially if we watch a video for that discussion board week. But you want to have a good at least 300 words, half based on your opinion and half based on the article. So, include facts that you read. That's important. I want to see that students have completely read the article, and then they have original post. I will check your grammar, your spelling, and there'll be a rubric attached to your discussion board covering those 5 areas, and that's really how I'll get your grade. Now, our class is an e-text class, so we don't have a physical textbook. So I've included under this e-text tab some help with videos about how to get started with McGraw-Hill and the e-text. We don't have any logins or passwords. That should already have been taken care of. Another thing that you need to be aware of is, since this is an e-text class, that means you have paid a fee in your registration for the e-text, and if you want to opt out, that's what this policy here is saying. That means you can get your money back, but there's a procedure to follow. You would need to click on this link where you can fill out that form. That's up to each student whether they want to pay the fee or not. I recommend that you stay in the class as is and don't opt out. And the reason is if you opt out, then you'll have to find another way to submit your assignments to me. And that falls upon the student to find that way. And currently I don't know of another way, but at least you have this option to either opt out or stay in. And I highly recommend that you stay in. I think over the many years that I've used an e-text, only 1 or 2 students have ever opted out, and it did not work out well for their course grade. Okay. If you're having trouble starting to get into the e-text, then you may want to come here and look at that. I've also got a video on how to access the e-text. That's a separate video here. I'm basically going to show you that now. There's some other videos here. If you ever have any trouble with Connect, then here's a web address that you can log in and try to get some tech support help. They're very good. Usually when I use their tech support, I do the text chat. So if you decide to do that, just make sure you're at your computer always typing, or they tend not to stay on the kind of line with you if you're not constantly kind of typing something back. Okay, I promised I would show you how to access the e-text, but this is the way that I most commonly do it. Now I've got a link here, and this works usually as long as you're logged in. Sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't work correctly, then that's probably the reason. But I go to the Tools area. I will go to the McGraw-Hill Higher Education icon, go to my Connect section, and then we are basically right almost at the e-text. We're in the Connect software. You can see that here, but then you can click on either one of these links. I usually do the bottom one. If you're going to use the LearnSmart, you can click on the top one, but now we really are in the e-text. So you can do all kinds of things in here, move forward and backward. You can search, you can make things bigger, you can print, and just all kinds of things. Alright, so again, we'll be using that, and very, very good. When you're ready to go back to Blackboard, just click on the tab and you're ready to go. The My Grades area, your tab looks a little bit more, but it shows you all the assignments, and we certainly do have a lot in the class, but the column you really need to pay the most attention to is the current grade. Sometimes there's other columns, total or weighted or all kinds of things like that. There's just some things that default in Blackboard, but this is the one that you really need to use. Keep an eye on your grade, and if there's anything that you ever want to ask me about, just email me or let me know, and I'll look into it. I'm usually looking in the grade book just about every day to ensure that your grades are accurate and all that. But again, keep an eye on it too. We just were at the tools area. There's probably maybe not a lot that you may use here, but there are some different things here that you can use as well. I don't believe really that we'll be using the purchase from Barnes & Noble tool, but I did include that in our course option here in Blackboard. But if you need that, then you can use that tool. Blackboard, of course, there's at Jolt on campus. You can refer to them, but if you ever have any problems with that, there's certainly lots of things and help that you can get here or again in person. I tend to use more with Jolt than anything else. I've asked you to complete the enrollment and verification quiz. Now, I know you see some instructor tabs up here, but mine looks a little bit different than yours, and so you probably just see the quiz only. But just do that for me, please. Within the first few days of the course, that would be great. But it's very short and all that, but that's just one of the ways that the college uses to determine when somebody enters the course. Email, again, your school email is what this tab is referring to, so I know you're really familiar with that, and you can use that whenever you need to. And then finally, course evaluations is also something I'm sure many of you have participated. The college is very interested in what students have to think, and so that's your chance to really give your opinion on all things related to courses and instruction here at JCC. Well, thank you for your time, and I certainly am happy to be with you in this new year in 2019. If there's anything I can do to help you achieve your goals better and here at the college, then please, by all means, let me know. That's my most important function at the college, is to help students as the best I can, and I really take that very, very seriously and honor that you have decided to take the sociology course. So thank you very much and have a good day.